10 seconds away now from resuming the count.
We'll resume on my mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark.
T-minus 20 minutes and counting.
OTC ISL. Grant. Match recorder ready to support ops transition. Just made it.
Data processing system engineer confirming the onboard computers are now in the process of making the transition to the terminal countdown configuration.
OTC DPS. Grant. Pass ops transition complete. DPS ready for BFS transition to ops 101. Copy. CDR OTC.
CDR.
Take BFS to ops 1 per your checklist.
In order.
T-minus 19 minutes and counting. The primary ascent software is now in ops 1 and Commander Williams will now configure the backup flight system computer to match the configuration.
Already gave that to you, sir. Copy. And STM NTD. Go ahead, sir. Tip 944. Terminate recording the closeout crew. Copy, sir. SRO NTD. Okay. NTD.
T-minus 18 minutes, 30 seconds.
Launch. Roger, I copy. And STM 946. Deactivate the pad OIS. Copy, sir.
Counting down to a hold at T-minus 9 minutes. Hold will last for 40 minutes at that mark.
This is CEPP, go. Verify step 898, please. I can verify step 898. Okay, thanks, sir. Copy. NTD, CVFS. Go ahead. Yes, sir, I can verify ready for BFS uplink for step 913, and I can also verify step 912. Copy. Flight NTD. Houston, flight NTD.
Go ahead.
Okay, 914, perform BFS pre-flight uplink loading.
Copy.
OTC ISL, go ahead.
T-minus 17 minutes, 30 seconds. NASA Test Director Al Safji has asked Houston Flight to send their pre-flight uplink command to the orbiter's backup flight system. These loads sent from Houston via the Mila tracking station put the 5th general purpose computer in the proper configuration.
Go ahead. Yes, we need you to perform the Dave at this time to turn the meds, flight band, ACIP, PCM off.
Okay, we'll put that in work, and no BFS pre-flight uplink is required.
Copy. CVFS, copy.
OTC. OTC, the BFS stops 1 is complete.
Copy, CDR, thank you. And CVFS entity. Go ahead.
Commander Williams reporting that the backup flight system is now in the proper mode.
PLP, OTC. PLP, OTC.
DLP.
Okay, configure path and BFS horizontal sit displays per your checklist.
Will do.
NTD is start up for Tom check on 212. Loud and clear, how many? NTD, I read you loud and clear, how many? Loud and clear, thank you. Right in.
Pilot McCulley been asked to configure the orbiter's horizontal situation displays for launch.
Violation, CRT3, BFS, MCDS, flight anomaly. Copy, NTD. Copy. SD, copy. SD, copies. OTC DPS? Go ahead. Did we have CDR check on board for any discrepancies? With CRT3. CDR, OTC.
Go ahead, OTC, and for DPS, we see no onboard discrepancies. All the displays look good.
And CDR DPS, were you typing in the spec key within the last minute?
That That's affirmative. We called up spec 50 to do the horizontal set configuration.
Copy that, thank you. Okay, DPS, does that explain your problem? Looks very good, like the username.
T-minus 15 minutes.
And we'll do a little more review to make sure, but no reason to hold the count. Okay, SD. SD concurs pending data evaluation. Coming. OTC double S 212. Try it. Yeah, 925 through 930 done for the clock. LRD 212. CWS, you got walked on, say again. Yeah, cross seats configured by the clock. That's 925 through 930. Copy. Go ahead, LRD. Go ahead, LRD. SRO entity. SRO.
T-minus 4 minutes 6 seconds. Configuration of the cross-feed valves between orbital maneuvering system and reaction control system propellant tanks is being performed.
Horizontal set config complete.
Copy. Configure ohms interconnect per your checklist.
Roll call.
Go ahead, STM. Go ahead, STM. Go ahead, STM. Yes, sir. GOIS is asking for some NIB on 212 to work the problem between you and SRO. Native. Copy, sir.
OTC PLT.
Go ahead.
We've configured the ohms interconnect.
Say again, PLT.
We verified that the ohms interconnect is correct.
Okay, CWS, OTC. Go ahead, OTC. Yeah, you've already, we just finished the ohms interconnect configuration on board. You verify everything looks good? Yeah, it's affirmative.
OTC CFCP.
Go ahead, FCP.
Yeah, fuel cell purge is complete.
Okay, step 947.
Fuel cell purge and adjust is reported complete.
Go ahead.
Okay, now ready for you to perform MPS helium reconfiguration.
PLT welcome.
Pilot McCulley is in the process of performing the main propulsion system helium system reconfiguration. This will open helium isolation valves necessary for in-flight purges of the engines and provide an emergency source of pressure for pneumatic shutdown of those engines.
955, the T-minus 20 TPC dump is done. Copy, thank you.
OTC PLT.
Go ahead.
The MPS helium reconfiguration is complete.
Copy, and now I need you to report RCS quantities, forward, left, and right, fuel and oxidizer, please.
All right.
Orbiter test conductor asking Pilot McCulley to report quantities of the reaction control system propellant tanks.
71. Fuel is 70. Left ox 98. Fuel 100. Right ox 99 and fuel 101.
Okay, thank you.
NTD SRO on 212.
Go ahead, sir.
The 2-hour Jim sphere was terminated at 56,400 feet. Data has been transmitted.
Copy. OTC DPS. Go ahead, DPS. Yes, sir. Our CRT3 anomaly was LCC page 6.9.24-10. Copy, copy, NTD. Copy, SD. OTC EPD. All right, EPD. 949 is complete. Copy that. OTC DPS. Go ahead. As one last troubleshooting point, we'd like to have CDR change the spec page on CRT3 and return it to the current spec. Okay, copy CDR.
Yes, sir. Okay, DPS and OTC, we have changed the spec page several times to call up the SM systems and the GNC systems, and it functions normally. No problems at all.
DPS copies, thank you. OTC DPS. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Based on user note D028. This anomaly is...
T-minus 10 minutes and counting. 1 minute away now from entering our planned built-in hold at the T-minus 9-minute mark.
ST entity. ST entity 212. Yeah. Did you copy a DPS? No, sir, I did not. Okay, he's saying the CRST-3 problem is no constraint to launch. I copy, and we did confirm that it's exactly the same error messages as 217. Understand, so you concur? Yes, sir. Roger, thank you. STM entity. Go ahead, sir. AOI ST activated. I have not been confirmed, sir. I'm standby. Okay.
Just 10 seconds away now from entering our hold at T-minus 9 minutes.
All systems, discontinue all non-mandatory LBB traffic for remainder of count.
T-minus 9 minutes and holding.
Flight entity.
Go ahead.
This hold will last for 40 minutes.
Go ahead.
And we did add an additional 30 minutes in this hold. Normally we hold at T-minus 9 for 10 minutes. But we do have a short launch window for today. We wanted to allow for flexibility, and gives us a total 40 minutes during this hold and 23 minutes for our launch window. This hold will extend till about 12:48 p.m. Expecting an on-time liftoff at 12:57 p.m. this afternoon. At T-minus 9 minutes and holding, this is shuttle launch control.
Flight entity. TD, NTD, 212. TD, NTD, 212. PTC, NTD. PTC, NTD, 212. This is PTC. Can you get ITD up on 212, please? That's affirmed, standby.
How do our constraints list look?
Still the same. Line item 268 and line item 270.
268, 270.
That's affirmative.
ST entity.
ST copies.
Chris, you're taking action to get those cleared, aren't you?
Yes, sir. And 270 is the switch problem.
NTD, ITD on 212, are you calling?
That's firm. Stand by, please. Yeah, ITD, we'll give you a go to pick up your whole fire checks per the clock at L-15 minutes. That's step 994.
Roger that, and that will come to me at L-18.
Say again, please. Say again, ITD.
Roger, will you be giving me that at L-18?
Negative. I was going to go ahead and give you the go now to do it per the clock.
Roger that, I understand.
Houston flight entity. CMQC entity.
MQC.
Yeah, go to 232, please. GLS entity. GLS, go ahead. Okay, want to re-verify with you the launch window, 1657 to 1723:28. No change since yesterday. Is that affirm? That's affirmative. Thank you. Flight entity. This is NTD on 212. We're now approximately 31 minutes from picking up the count at T-minus 9 minutes. And we'll perform step 1003 at this time. This is launch status checks. All stations say go, no go for launch. OTC? OTC is go. TVC? TVC is go. PTC? PTC is go. LPS? LPS is go. AFTD? flight. Mila?
Milo's go.
STM?
STM is go.
Safety console?
Safety is go.
SD?
SD's go, and we're in the process of cleaning up the constraints list.
Copy. CDR?
Victor is go.
Copy. LRD?
LRD go.
And SRO?
SRO is go, pending a final clear to launch at L-minus 15 minutes.
Copy. And PTC NTD?
Go ahead, NTD.
Yeah, you're given the go for AFTD, is that firm?
That's a firm.
Okay, we'll stand by at this point. The launch director will take his status checks at 30 minutes after the hour. That will be in approximately 11 minutes. Okay, this is NTD on 212. We will not take another go, no-go for launch from the team that just was surveyed. So from this point on, per the 20-minute briefing, if anyone has any problems, it's incumbent on the individual to speak up.
OTC, CCSC. Anyone see? Yeah, we have an LCC violation. Our NSP has lost train sync. Mila is working it.
This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 20 minutes, T-minus 9 minutes and holding. Just heard NASA Test Director Al Sofchi taking a poll of the console systems engineers here in Flying Room 1, making sure that they are ready to resume the count at T-minus 9 minutes. Looking at probably another 30 minutes before that would occur at 12:48 when the count would resume for an on-time liftoff at 12:57 p.m. We are still monitoring the weather conditions here at the Kennedy Space Center for return to launch site abort situations. We've got a low cloud deck over the shuttle landing facility at this time, which is a concern for a return to launch site. We're also monitoring rain showers in the area. At the transatlantic abort sites, our Ben Guerir site is go. The other two TAL sites are not in a configuration for launch at this time. The weather would not support at the other two TAL sites, but we do have Ben Guerir. That is our primary site for today. The abort once around capability at Edwards and Northrop are both go for launch today. We've got a shuttle training aircraft making approaches to the shuttle landing facility. He's feeding data in real time and making some assessments of current weather conditions over the runway. We will continue to monitor the situation for the remainder of this hold time. The mission management team and launch director will be polling members of their team at about 12:30 to make sure they are ready to resume the count at T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 9 minutes and holding. This is shuttle launch control.
So we have a clean constraints list at this time.
That's affirmative.
Roger, thank you very much. SP, copy. SPE entity.
SSD on 212.
Clean constraints list at this time.
Thank you, sir.
Launch director entity.
Go ahead.
Okay, the launch team is ready to proceed. We'll stand by until you do your goes at 12:30.
I copy. We'll do that in approximately 10 minutes, and we are still looking at the rain showers in the local area, which is a potential for not picking up on time, but we'll be looking at it.
Copy. OTC, CCSE 212. Sorry? Yes, sir. Can I talk to GLS on 155, please? GLS? CGLS, OTC. GLS, go ahead. Can you talk to CCSE on 155, please? Okay, we'll go to 155. OTC, TPE. Go ahead. Yeah, request CFCP over on 161. CFCP, OTC. CFCP, OTC. Okay, going back to dimensional. NTDSB 212. Go ahead. Yes, sir. I'd like to ask PLT a question. Go ahead. Yes, sir. PLT, this is STE.
STE, go ahead.
Okay, Mike, did you just move your rotational hand controller?
Did not, although I was adjusting my kneeboard there a little bit, so I might have bumped it.
Okay, we just got an indication. We just wanted to confirm it. Thank you.
Okay.
Flight entity. OTC, PPE. Go ahead. Yeah, request ECL over on 161. ECL. ECL copy. Houston flight entity.
OTC HYD. Go ahead. Okay, at this time I need to report an anomaly. Order spray boiler number 2. Okay, indication is off. Should be on. The loss of the indication is due to water spray boiler 2 steam vent temp 1 being less than 130 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not an LCC violation at this time, but it will be an LCC violation at T-minus 5 minutes at go for APU start.
I copy that recommendation.
Okay, recommend at this time that we continue the count. There's provisions in the LCC 6.7.2-10 to continue the count if we can verify that the heater was active and performance was nominal from at the start of ET cryo tanking.
NTD, copy. Copy, ST, you copy that? Yes, sir, and NTD, a note for the CDR.
Things for the GLC, and also need to make note to GLS that they'll need to mask Victor 58X 0282 Echo 1.
GLS, copy. This ST, we copy, and if you'd give PLT the message. Yeah, PLT, NTD.
Go ahead, NTD, ready, right.
HYD, you want to go ahead and give them the note, please?
That's from PLT is HYD. The water spray boiler 2.
HYD, PLD.
Okay, PLT, this is HYD. Water spray boiler 2.
Yeah, go ahead, ready to copy them.
Okay, water spray boiler 2, okay. Indication is off at this time. And when we get to APU start, the ready to start indication on panel R2 will be barber pole rather than the gray. And HYD and APU will be monitoring the APU start parameters for any violations which would start the APU. Oh, correction, would inhibit the APU start. And PLT, unless instructed otherwise, ignore the APU number 2 ready to start indication and on command of the test conductor perform a normal APU start.
Okay, at the end of the APU pre-start, we're going to end up with a barber pole. We'll talk back on APU number 2. We understand that, and we'll go ahead and press on with APU start on your call at 5 minutes.
On command of the test conductor, that's correct.
Yes, sir, test conductor.
And HYD, OTC.
HYD.
Will you be giving me an extra go besides GLS?
When it becomes an LCC violation, I'll go ahead and call it as such and make a recommendation at that time.
Okay, copy. But HYD, at this time, this is not a violation, it's an explained condition.
That's the firm, it's expected.
And NTD, this is SD, we will invoke the mask and the ground line sequencer. Copy, thank you.
NTD Launch Director 212.
Go ahead, Launch Director.
Okay, why don't we hold off on the L-minus time activity here for about 10 minutes. We're still watching the showers in the area. We would right now be a no-go from a flight standpoint and marginal for launch weather conditions. So we'll just stand down here for about 10 minutes.
Okay, I copy that. Our first task is payload bay flow reduction, and OTC is holding off on that. This is NTD on channel 212 to the test team. Stand down any L-minus work at this time. We're going to hold for probably an additional 10 minutes here before we start our L-minus activities. We have rain showers in the area. And CDR, did you copy that?
CDR copies, thank you, sir.
Entity Flight 212.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. We will not require an IMU misalignment correction today.
Okay, what about launch probably?
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 9 minutes and holding. Just heard Launch Director Bob Seek briefing test team here in Firing Room 1 and the flight crew that we probably will be holding an additional 10 to 15 minutes waiting for weather to clear here in the launch area. Got rain showers in the area within 20 miles for return to launch site abort, and this is in violation of our launch commit criteria.
The last step, 941, the
90-minute Jim Sear was terminated at 56,000.
We will continue to monitor the weather situation. Launch director is in communication with the Cape weather officials, getting updates as soon as they become available. It was reported earlier that the showers are expected to move west as the sea breeze moves onshore, and that situation is being monitored. A little bit of background on the Galileo spacecraft. It's a 2-ton spacecraft. It carries 9 scientific instruments. There are another 6 experiments on the 750-pound probe. The spacecraft radio link to Earth serves as an additional instrument for scientific measurements. The probe's scientific data will be relayed to Earth by the orbiter during the 75-minute period while the probe is descending into Jupiter's atmosphere. Galileo will communicate with its controllers and scientists through NASA's Deep Space Network using tracking stations in California, Spain, and Australia. Electrical power is provided to Galileo's equipment by 2 radioisotope thermoelectric generators.
Launch director, on air to ground.
Unclear, launch director.
Okay, Don, well, looks like we get to watch the weather for a while. While we're not busy here, maybe your PLT could give us a weather off from his position.
Well, he's been watching it like a hawk. And, Bob, all I see is blue sky.
Copy that, Mike. Well, the view from here is good, too, but over there at the SLF, it looks a little bit more like tropical Florida, so we're going to see what those cumulus and rain showers do here for the next little while, so bear with us.
Roger that. In fact, I can see a contrail of a commercial airliner headed south out to window number 2, and so he must be up at 37,000 or so.
Well, maybe we can get you up and past that altitude later on today.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to violate his airspace, am I?
And Launch Director Bob Seek confirming with the crew that we are going to stand by and wait for weather here. Pilot McCulley, before was assigned to a flight crew, was also making weather calls here at on launch day here at Kennedy Space Center, and he was here in the firing room relaying information to the mission management team. Back to some background on the RTGs. These are powering the Galileo's equipment. The heat is produced by the natural radioactive decay of plutonium-238 dioxide. It's converted to electricity to operate equipment on the orbiter for its 8-year active life period. This is the same type of power source used by the Voyager and Pioneer Jupiter spacecraft in their long outer planet missions, by the Viking landers, spacecraft on Mars, and the lunar scientific packages left on the Moon. Galileo's scientific experiments will be carried out by more than 100 scientists from 6 nations. Except for the radio science investigation, these are supported by dedicated instruments on the Galileo orbiter and probe. Jupiter is over 11 times the diameter of Earth and spins about 2.5 times faster. A Jovian day is only 10 hours long. Named for the chief of the Roman gods, Jupiter contains more mass than all the other planets combined. It is made mostly of light elements, principally hydrogen and helium. Its atmosphere and clouds are deep and dense, and a significant amount of energy is emitted from its interior. Jupiter has the strongest planetary magnetic field known. The planet's magnetosphere is the largest single entity in our solar system, measuring more than 14 times the diameter of the Sun. Temperatures on Jupiter now range from 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit at the core to minus 248 degrees Fahrenheit at the top of the cloud banks. Jupiter's composition is thought to resemble the makeup of the solar nebula, the cloud of gas and dust from which the Sun and planets formed. The earliest Earth-based telescopic observation showed bands and spots in Jupiter's atmosphere. One storm system, known as the Great Red Spot, has been observed for over 3 centuries. The Great Red Spot is 25,000 miles wide and large enough to swallow 3 Earths in an enormous oval eddy of swirling gases. Atmospheric forms and dynamics were observed in increasing detail with the Pioneer and Voyager flyby spacecraft, and Earth-based infrared astronomers have recently studied the nature and vertical dynamics of deeper clouds. 16 satellites are known. The 4 largest, discovered by Galileo in 1610, are the size of small planets. The innermost of these, Io, has active sulfurous volcanoes, discovered by Voyager 1. Io and Europa are about the size and density of Earth's moon and probably rocky inside. Ganymede and Callisto, further out from Jupiter, are the size of Mercury but less than twice as dense as water. Their cratered surfaces look icy in Voyager images, and they may be composed partly of ice or water. Scientists believe Jupiter holds important clues to conditions in the early solar system and the process of planet formation. Galileo and its inertial upper stage were closed out for flight here at Kennedy Space Center the weekend before last, and the payload bay doors were closed for flight last Monday, when the countdown was started. The Galileo and IUS were transferred from the vertical processing facility to Pad 39B on August 25th. Installation facility on April 17th, and the spacecraft arrived at KSC on May 16th. They were tested while at SAFE 2 and were delivered to the vertical processing facility on August 1st. 2 days later, the satellite and upper stage were joined together and all integrated tests were performed the second week of August. Atlantis' crew will deploy the payload approximately 6 hours after liftoff. The inertial upper stage consists of 2 solid propellant stages separated by an interstage motor. The first stage contains about 21,400 pounds of propellant and is designed to place a payload such as Galileo in geosynchronous transfer orbit. The smaller second stage, which contains about 6,000 pounds of propellant, will then ignite and propel Galileo onto its trajectory to Jupiter. The IUS is built by Boeing Aerospace in Seattle under contract to the U.S. Air Force Systems Command. Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama, is NASA's lead center for IUS development and program management of NASA-configured IUSs procured from the Air Force. Standing by now, waiting for weather to clear for a launch attempt today. We do have until 1:23 p.m. in our launch window for an attempt today. At T-minus 9 minutes and holding, this is shuttle launch control.
NTD-CTLS, go ahead, GLS. Yes, sir. Are you still planning on resuming at 1648, or would you like us to go ahead and cancel pending? Yeah, we're just about to tell you to cancel pending, so go ahead. Okay, that's complete.
This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 9 minutes and holding. Still waiting here at Kennedy for weather situation to clear for return to launch site. We'll now go to the Houston Mission Control commentator and find out what's going on in Houston.
Go to lower the flow rate. Copy. OTC, got to go on payload bay flow reduction. Copy.
This is Mission Control, Houston. In the flight control room at the Johnson Space Center, mission controllers are evaluating the weather conditions, getting the latest updates from radar reports and local observations at the Kennedy Space Center. There are no vehicle constraints to launch, and we are standing by for further recent reports on weather from the Kennedy Space Center. Currently, we are under constraints of our flight rules for launch site weather and return to launch site scenario constraints as well. This is Mission Control.
And TTC NTD.
Go ahead, NTD.
Okay, are you considering going ahead and commanding your ASE batteries online?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. I need to go ask the IUS community.
Okay, that's step 995.
That's affirmed. NTD, PTC.
Go ahead.
Yes, get a position for us to start on 994. Hold fire checks.
That's firm.
Okay.
PTC, once you get those stars, if we don't pick up in L-15, or we don't pick up in 15 minutes, you can hold. Is that affirmed?
That's affirmed.
Okay, go ahead. You get the word on the batteries yet?
Yes, sir. Those will be in work approximately 30 seconds.
Okay, so you're going to do 995 also.
That's affirmed. And bring it to speeds. We have 990 through 993 are complete.
Copy.
OTC, CFCP.
Right.
Yeah, we can verify step 1001A.
Okay, per the D. Copy.
That's fine.
NTD Launch Director 212.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to go ahead and run our final polls at this time with the understanding it does not constitute a go to pick up at 9 minutes. We're still going to hold here and watch the local weather situation, but I would like to complete the status check at this time.
All right. Yeah, we're complete on sequence 1003 and 1004.
Copy. Payload operations, Launch Director. Payload operations. We're go with this there. Copy. Engineering Director.
We've told the technical community, Launch Director, and you have our consensus to proceed with this launch. Good luck and Godspeed.
Copy, thank you. Safety and Quality Director.
Safety and quality have no constraint to launch.
Copy. Cape Weather, Launch Director. Well, this Launch Director, we'll get back to Cape Weather because we will hold for the rain shower situation. Ops Manager, Launch Director.
Roger, Launch Director. Ops managers go with the exception of the weather at the SLF, and if it's prudent to go ahead and pick up the count and hold at 5, that would be appropriate from my standpoint, and we'll like to get the final go before we come out at 5 minutes.
Copy, thank you, sir. NTD, Launch Director.
NTD.
Okay, let's continue on with your L-minus time activity per the control sequence, but before we pick up at 9 minutes, we'll take another look at the weather.
Okay, I copy. I propose that we set the clock to pick up in approximately 6 minutes.
Okay, you have a go.
I copy that. GLS NTD. GLS, go ahead. Okay, set the countdown clock to pick up at 16:56 Zulu. 16:56. Roger. Flight NTD.
This is Flight.
Okay, activate recorders.
Well, do you want to activate recorders or we want to hold off on that? Why don't we hold off on the recorders and our SPCs if we're going to march on down and hold at T-5?
Okay, we'll hold off. And you'll take care of those on your own. Is that affirm?
That's affirm. If we pick up the count at T-5, we'll come back to you. We'll get the recorders and send the SPCs.
Copy. And NTD PTC. Go ahead, PTC.
Yeah, we're still looking for your 2-minute hack prior to picking up, please.
Understand.
This is shuttle launch control at T-9 minutes and holding. Just heard status checks by Launch Director Bob Seek polling members of his team. We have no safety or reliability quality assurance issues, no engineering issues, and the mission management team has given their go to resume the count. Only thing we are holding for at this time is weather for return to launch site, rain showers on at the shuttle landing facility area, within 20 miles of that area. There's a discussion going on at this time about picking up the countdown at 12:56 and marching down to the T-5 minute point prior to starting the orbiter's auxiliary power units. We could hold at that point and wait for weather and be ready to resume the count at T-5 minutes if the weather should clear. By picking up with the countdown at T-9 minutes, we could complete those activities between T-9 and T-5 and be able to launch sooner when the weather cleared. T-9 minutes and holding. This is shuttle launch control.
Looking for a final go for launch.
Roger, I'm waiting that pending final aircraft clearance. Everything else is go. We have a couple of aircraft that I still don't have the word on.
Copy. And NTD PTC. Go ahead.
At 10:17, verify count resumed at 16:56 GMT.
That's firm.
PVD OTC. This is CPVD. Status on your flow reduction. We've completed flow rate reduction. We're reconfiguring inventories at this time. Be another minute or two. Copy that.
Countdown clock will pick up in 3 minutes.
OTC, CATD.
Go ahead.
Okay, I can give you step 1016.
Copy. Thank you, sir.
GLS NTD.
GLS, go ahead.
Launch Director NTD.
Now go ahead.
Okay, you want us to set up to go ahead and pick up unless you stop us?
Let's make a quick check with flight to make sure they have no constraints to that strategy.
Flight NTD.
This is Flight.
You concur with picking up and going down to 5. Is that affirmed?
I concur.
Copy. Countdown clock will pick up in 2 minutes. 2, 1, mark.
And NASA Test Director confirming the countdown will resume at T-9 minutes at 12:56 p.m.
Go ahead, Cape Weather.
Roger, I want to advise you that cell is indicating minus 1,300 there just northwest of the SLS. That's outside of our 5 mile for launch. Much stronger, of course, than we had earlier.
Copy. We'll keep an eye on it.
We're still keeping an eye out on the weather situation. Countdown will proceed on down to the T-minus 5-minute mark, at which time we would be starting the orbiter's auxiliary power units, but we can hold at that point and wait for the weather to clear. T-minus 9 minutes and holding. This is shuttle launch control.
Copy, thank you. Countdown clock will pick up in 1 minute. 1, mark. TD, NTD. CLS entity. CLS, go ahead. Okay, let's go ahead and set up the hold at T-minus 5 minutes. Okay, we'll put that in work after the resume.
This is shuttle launch control, now getting ready to resume the count.
NTD, ITD.
Go ahead.
Hold flight system is enabled.
Copy. Countdown clock will resume on my mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark.
T-minus 9 minutes and counting.
CLS auto sequence has been initiated.
And the ground launch sequencer has been initiated.
ST, we want to hold off on APU pre-start. We'd like PLT to do all of pre-start except the fuel tank ISO valves. OTC coming.
OTC copy.
PLT copy.
And then NTD, when we pick up the clock, we can configure the ISO valves. Copy.
Pilot McCulley will be configuring for APU pre-start, but will not start the APUs at this time.
Configure fuel cell essential bus source switches.
PLT, connect the essential buses to the fuel cell.
OTC, ISL 212. Go ahead. Since we haven't started the ops recorder, GLS will get a hit at 5 minutes and 25 seconds. GLS understands.
At T-minus 7 minutes 30 seconds, the orbiter crew access arm will be retracted away from the vehicle and into the launch configuration. This arm can be re-extended in just a few seconds if necessary.
PLS is go for OAA retract.
And we do have a go for the retraction of the arm this time.
And NTD, PLS will stop at T-minus 5 minutes per your request. Copy.
And the countdown clock will hold at T-minus 5 minutes. Now 7 minutes, 10 seconds. T-minus 7 minutes. The access arms now slowly being retracted away from the vehicle.
JRPS, OTC.
JRPS.
Start APU and hydraulic strip chart recorders.
Will do.
T-minus 6 minutes, 30 seconds. Starting strip chart recorders at this time.
PLT, OTC, perform APU pre-start except for the ISO valve opening.
T-minus 6 minutes. Pilot McCulley has been given a go to perform pre-start of the auxiliary power units. He will configure switches in the cockpit to put the APUs in the ready-to-start configuration, but will not be opening ISO valves to allow their start. The APUs provide hydraulic power to the orbiter. And activation comes at the T-minus 5 minute point, but we will be holding at this point and waiting for weather to clear in just like 30 seconds.
Copy that, thank you.
Countdown clock will hold at T-minus 5 minutes and approximately 20 seconds.
APU pre-start has been completed. 4 seconds away now from T-minus 5 minutes. T-minus 5 minutes and holding.
Countdown clock's holding at T-minus 5 minutes. T-minus 5 minutes and holding.
Okay, we will be holding now for waiting for weather to clear. Launch Director Bob Seek communicating with Cape weather officials, getting up-to-date information on rain showers in the area within the 20-mile area of the shuttle landing facility. Flight controllers at Mission Control also monitoring the situation with the rain showers for return to launch site abort.
PTC entity. Go ahead. Okay, verifying with you that IUS doesn't need another 2-minute hack, that they're going to continuously refresh.
That's a problem, just got the verification.
Understand, thank you.
Do have until 1:23 p.m. this afternoon for today's launch attempt. The window does close at that time. Now just 23 minutes away. The Galileo orbiter and inertial upper stage are ready for flight at this time. We're now at T-minus 5 minutes and holding. This is shuttle launch control.
Launch Director entity. CDR entity.
CDR.
Yeah, Don, just to fill you in, we're at T-minus 5 and holding. Fuel tank ISO valves are still closed. Other than that, we're ready to pick up at 5 and start the APUs if we get a weather go. Right now, we've got about 15 more minutes worth of hold capability here at T-minus 5.
Okay, all we understand. Thank you very much.
CDR entity.
CDR.
Yeah, TAL sites are down now also.
Okay, copy, thank you.
This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 5 minutes and holding. Looks like the Ben Guerir TAL site is in a no-go situation at this time as well. We do have rain showers reported from the pilot at Ben Guerir that there are rain showers within 15 miles. And we are continuing to monitor that situation as well. Still getting updates on the rain shower situation here at Kennedy Space Center. We remain in a hold at T-minus 5 minutes, waiting for weather to clear both at Kennedy and at the TAL site at Ben Guerir. T-minus 5 minutes and holding. This is shuttle launch control. This is shuttle launch control at T-minus 5 minutes and holding. We will continue to wait here for the next few minutes. The countdown must pick up at 1:18 today to have a launch temp for today.
He's hearing thunder from that cell to the northwest of SLS.
Copy.
Just got a report from flight that Ben Guerir is up and supporting for a TAL site today. The weather has cleared there. The rain showers have dissipated. We've got shuttle training aircraft in the area here at Kennedy Space Center making an assessment of the rain showers in the area.
31, let's look at the radar and talk this a little more.
Roger, going. CDR entity.
CDR.
Yeah, we've got about 4 minutes and 35 seconds of hold time left.
Okay, how we copy?
SD entity. SSD. And launch director entity.
Go ahead, MTD.
Yeah, if we look like we have any hope of picking up at all, I'd recommend we go ahead and start the ISO valve opening in about 1 minute.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and do that, but with the understanding we're going to hold at -5 until you get a clear go.
Okay, I copy. OTC?
OTC copies?
Yeah. Now, launch director, that was a go to pick it up at 1 minute, or a go to go ahead and open them now?
Well, per your timeline, you can do your preparations to come out of the hold at -5, but do not start the clock at -5.
Understand. Yeah, go ahead and open the valves, OTC.
PLT, OTC.
CLT, go.
Go ahead and open your APU fuel tank valves this time.
CLT. OTC, PLT, the valves are open and the talkback configuration is as expected. Gray on 1 and 3, power hold on 2.
Copy HYD. APU. APU copies.
CDR entity.
CDR.
Yeah, just to keep you advised, things could be improving a little bit, so we're going to get in configuration so we can start up with just a couple of seconds left. Right now we have 2 minutes and 35 seconds the whole time remaining.
Roger that. Thank you, sir.
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 5 minutes and holding. Appears like we do have a dynamic weather situation here at Kennedy Space Center. Things are looking marginal for a launch attempt today. And standing by now for Launch Director Bob Seek.
Looks like the local weather is not going to cooperate, so we're going to have to call it a day. We'll scrub and configure for a 24-hour turnaround. However, we're going to have a meeting to look over all the factors in that before we make a final decision on an attempt for tomorrow.
Okay, understand. Launch team, this is NTD. In a minute, we'll ask GLS to give a cutoff, and then we'll proceed to sequence 18, stage 1005.
This is Shuttle Launch Control, Launch Director Bob Seek now telling the team we are scrubbing today's launch attempt, and we'll have a meeting later on today to determine whether or not we can have a viable attempt at launching tomorrow based on weather. Launch team here now will begin a cutoff for the launch countdown and begin safing the orbiter. Flight crew will be departing from the crew cabin and going back to the operations and checkout building. We will stay up with commentary until the flight crew departs from the crew cabin. This is Shuttle Launch Control.
Within 10 miles of the launch pad, sir.
Copy. Well, keep us informed if we get showers moving in the area. We do want to get the crew out here, and that should be in approximately a half an hour.
Roger, under.
Houston Flight NTD.
Go ahead.
Okay, you can perform step 18-12 to MCCH recycle per sequence 23.
Copy, and the SPC buffer is clear. The only thing we need to do is get the MADS back in its proper config, and we'll do that.
Understand.
CDR, PLTs, OTC.
CDR.
Okay, perform cutoff safety switch list.
Yeah.
And CDR, I have a deep to panel 06 for the GPC mode switch for 5. Should go to standby.
Okay, that's in order.
All right, negative. Delay that. We have deleted that step. We want to leave GPC mode switch 5 alone.
Okay, I understand you want to leave it in run. Is that correct, Bill?
That's firm.
Okay, it's in run.
NTD Flight 212.
Go ahead.
Okay, our recycle actions are complete.
Copy. And safety console NTD.
This is Shuttle Launch Control. Just repeating, we have scrubbed for today's launch attempt, and launch team here now putting things in safe configuration for a recycle launch attempt. If a decision is made to try for launch tomorrow, the window would open at 12:50 and close at 1:17 p.m., giving us a 27-minute window. We would be retaining the 40-minute built-in hold at T-minus 9 minutes for give us more flexibility for a launch attempt.
CLA 20 ready.
Is that ready, CLA 20?
Affirmative.
OTC NTD. Go ahead. Step 29, go to G9.
GPS OTC.
Should be now about 30 minutes before the flight crew will be departing the crew cabin, and we will stay up with commentary until that occurs.
Go ahead.
Verified 24.
Weather situation here at Kennedy Space Center was unacceptable for a launch based on rain showers within 20 miles of our landing strip, and this would be unacceptable for a return to launch site situation. The launch scrub was called at about 1:18 p.m. Eastern Time today.
This is CATD. You verify ETO2 less than 10,000 ppm?
I can verify that.
Okay, thank you.
CDR, GPS 212.
CDR.
Yes, sir, panel C2, left CRT select switch to 3.
Okay, it's in 3.
Copy, left keyboard, ops 000, and pro.
Complete BFS memory display.
Copy, thank you. OTC entity. Go ahead. Yeah, need to close that crew to go ahead and proceed to B4 roadblock.
Okay, copy.
STM entity.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, we need to clear the closeout crew and the Astro van through AB11 to AB4.
Copy, sir.
NTDSD.
Go ahead, SD. Yes, sir. We'd like to make sure that we get 18007 worked and get the fuel tank valves closed.
That's in work. CDR, DPS?
CDI.
Yes, sir. On panel 06, GPC mode 5 switch to standby.
Can work. Complete. GPC 5 and standby.
Copy.
NTD, PTC 212. Go ahead, PTC. Yeah, with your concurrence, we'll go ahead and work the payload scrub 24-hour turnaround, sequence 33, volume 3.
Do you do any LDV bowling during that?
I don't believe so. Stand by. I'll confirm that.
Yeah, let's just stand by till we get to G9. We should be there momentarily.
Okay.
OTC DPS.
Go ahead, DPS.
Recycle back to G9 is complete. Downlist to 60.
Copy, copy, NTD.
NTD copy. SD entity. SD, do we need to do anything other than just close the fuel tank ISO valve?
He should back out of the pre-start configuration. PLT, OTC.
CLT.
Okay, need you to reconfigure from your APU pre-start at this time.
Will go.
And NTD, PTC, go ahead. Your question about LGB polling, we did not require any for a scrub turnaround.
Okay, you gotta go.
Thank you.
OTC, PLT.
Go ahead.
I have backed out of the APU pre-start.
Copy, thank you.
NTD TBC. Go ahead. Yeah, do we have G9?
That's firm.
Okay, do we have a Gulf drain? Oh, you've got to go.
Stand by.
It's a log strain, it is. Yeah, what step number is that? It's 1866.
That's firm, TBC, you've got to go.
Okay. TBC entity. This is TBC. Yeah, did you activate the ET heaters? That's step 45. Repeat, please. Step 45, do you need to turn off the heaters?
This is Shuttle Launch Control. Launch team very busy at this time, reconfiguring the orbiter for recycle mode. The external tank will be drained of its liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen propellants this afternoon. That will start as soon as we can get things configured for that activity. Also, the flight crew members will be getting out of the cockpit, and the closeout crew is now on its way to the pad to assist them and open up the crew hatch. Again, scrub occurred about 1:18 p.m. due to weather for a return to launch site situation.
Switch off.
There will be a meeting later on this afternoon to determine whether or not we can go for a launch attempt tomorrow. And review the recycle procedures that would be put in place to resume the countdown, and start retanking the external tank for a launch attempt tomorrow. This is Shuttle Launch Control.
OTC ISL.
All right, ISL.
I verify step 59.
Copy. OTC, PTC 212. Go ahead. Yes, sir. We're working on payload scrub. Sequence 33, step 2. Could you put that on work, please? Over to purge.
Yes. Stand by, PTC. Can we hold off on that until we get our critical staging done?
That's fine.
STM entity.
Go ahead, sir.
Track the closeout crew. They're staying by at AB4.
Copy, sir.
OTC, did he?
Station con OTC, say again.
Yes, sir. CPD, we were looking for step 22, sir.
Okay, they performed a cutoff saving switch list.
That's negative on the fuel cell, which is off the central bus source.
PLT, OTC.
PLT, go ahead.
Okay, did you perform on R1 power distribution, fuel cell 1, 2, and 3 at off?
I'll do that now if you want.
Yeah, put that in work, please.
Okay, central bus sources, fuel cell 1, 2, and 3 are coming off. That's complete, tilted.
Copy, and on F8, flight controller power switch off.
Complete.
Okay, and CDR?
CDI.
Okay, on F7, can you verify flight controller power switch off?
It was on, I'm taking it to off, now it's off.
Okay, copy, thank you.
TBC entity.
TBC.
Okay, step 92. Crew egress criteria. Can you verify 1, 2, and 3?
Step 92, stand by. PLT, OTC.
Go ahead, OTC, PLT.
Okay, panel R2, APU hydraulics, APU controller power 1, 2, and 3, off.
They are off, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, hydraulic main pump press 1, 2, and 3, normal.
They are all in normal.
And hydraulic, APU hydraulic circ pumps 1, 2, and 3 to GPC.
They are all in GPC.
And MPS helium isolation A, left, center, and right, all GPC.
Helium ISO A, left, center, and right, all GPC.
Helium isolation B, left, center, and right, all GPC.
Entity TBC.
Helium center, helium ISO B, left, center, and right, all GPC.
Okay. And pneumatics, helium iso switch, GPC.
Complete.
Hey, thank you, sir. Entity OTC.
Entity.
Critical saving complete.
Copy. And you've got to go to perform time U alignment preps, step 70.
Okay, copy. TNC OTC.
Okay, IMU alignment for 24-hour scrub. Will you be performing 70?
Yes, sir. I will go ahead and force term idle. I will not be performing 78 through 83 at this time. We'll go ahead and do that for the turnaround.
Okay, copy.
You want us to go ahead and put 70 in work now?
That's firm.
And I'll request DPS to change responsible console for DEU2 to C11, please.
Okay, DPS, OTC?
DPS copies in work.
OTC, CFCC.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're on step 20, sequence 19. We will be not performing that. We never went on internal reactants, and we'd like to get EPD to bring our loads down if we could for step 89, sequence 19.
EPD, go ahead. FCP would like to bring loads down.
Okay, we were just waiting for the recycle directions. We can bring them down at your command.
We're not into sequence 19 yet.
Affirmative, but I don't think it'll bother anybody else if you want to go ahead with it.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and proceed? We'll catch up with you.
Copy, very good.
LPS, OTC. LPS, step 84, please. Copy that. PVD, OTC.
CPVD.
Okay, increase payload bay flow rate, step 85.
Good, and work now.
OTC DPS.
Go ahead.
Step 18-72 complete.
Copy. Copy, GNC.
GNC, say again.
Fed RS is transferred.
Copy that. And OTC, CGNC, I can verify complete 2 step 77.
Copy. OTC and TD. Go ahead, Okay, you can go ahead and send the closeout crew to pad for crew egress at step 97. Copy that.
OTC, PD.
Go ahead, sir.
The load transfer is complete.
This is Shuttle Launch Control. Launch team still configuring everything back to recycle mode. There will be a meeting today at about 2:30, just about an hour, and we'll be talking about the recycle schedule and opportunity for launch tomorrow. If a decision is made to press on for launch tomorrow, we will not have a news conference. However, if we decide to go for a launch attempt on another day, we will have a news conference, and it will be at 3:30 p.m. today. Repeating it, if we do decide to go for a launch attempt tomorrow, there will be no news conference, and if we decide to go for launch on another day, we will have a news conference at 3:30 p.m. this afternoon on the NASA Select satellite. The flight crew aboard Atlantis is busy configuring switches and reconfiguring the orbiter for the recycle mode. Also making preparations to drain the external tank of its load of liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen propellants. This is Shuttle Launch Control.
OTC and DD. 212.
Go ahead.
Okay, you've got to go on step 91 and 93.
Copy that.
This is Comtech on Simul, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, test out.
sir. We're still listening, and I'm not sure why you can't read us unless they've taken Milo down. OTC CDI. NTD CDI. Okay, you're loud and clear. We're just asked to do a comp check with you, sir.
This is Shuttle Launch Control. We're now configuring for recycle mode. There's been no decision at this time whether or not we will attempt for a launch tomorrow or whether we need to wait for another day. There will be a meeting held here later today at Kennedy Space Center to discuss our options. However, at this time we are draining the external tank of its flight load of liquid oxygen at this time. And in the next hour, the liquid hydrogen will be drained from the external tank as well. It takes about 2.5 hours to complete the draining operation, and should be complete around 4 o'clock this afternoon. This time the flight crew members are coming out of Atlantis' cockpit. They're being assisted by the closeout crew, and they will be going back to the operations and checkout building for this afternoon and getting an update later on. This concludes today's commentary. This is Shuttle Launch Control.